do you get a sense, talking with these guys, just being around them in the locker room and whatnot, do you get a sense that they could potentially let last week beat them twice? And I guess that's really what the Rams are trying to avoid with the 41-10 blowout. You don't want that to beat you again next week. But with the 49ers, to your point, as you brought up earlier, that was like 3 plays away from being a blowout on the other side of things. Mm-hmm. And there was also 3 plays away from the 49ers winning the game. So it was a wacky game. It really was. But where are you on that instance? Do you think just the feeling, does it feel like it's the rivalry game that, or do you think that maybe with the injuries, they might even overlook the Rams this week?
It's hard. It's hard to say they'd overlook a team when they're having a bunch of injuries too. It kind of like, I don't really know. It just feels like the Niners are at a very precarious, both the Niners and the Rams, but the Niners in particular, like they're supposed to be winning the Super Bowl this year. And they've had a very slow start to the season. I don't know. It just kind of feels like vets are tapping out early on. Like, hey, I'm hurt. I don't need to be part of this. And now you got a bunch of guys who have something to prove going to LA, but it's not the Niner team. I mean, it's not. Fred Warner is playing out of his mind. Nick Bosa's not. He's really not. Charvarius Ward could be out. Kittle could be out. That could just be precautionary. Like, I don't even know what's going on with that. It doesn't feel like a team that's putting their best foot forward. It doesn't at all. Whether they're like pacing themselves or trying to get healthy for down the line, or they want to see what Brock Purdy can do without some of these vets, or they're just really injured. It doesn't seem like a team that's about to dominate. It doesn't.
Now I'll throw this one your way. Not a question, but Bet US. You should bring this up. I want to see if this is on there, right?
Sure.
I'm a big fan of the revenge angle when it comes to betting. Cam Akers against the Vikings. I think this week he's going to go off.
Okay.
But Leonard Floyd was cut like he was nothing by the Rams.
It's true.
I think he's going to get a sack in this game. I think he might have multiple sacks in this game. When the 49ers added Leonard Floyd, whether people disagree or not, Bosa's a closer. Bosa can win you a game. Game's over. Bosa gets a sack, whatever. He can get that. Leonard Floyd's also a closer in my mind. I think you got 2 closers that you're talking about with the 49ers. And that, like, adding him, obviously, he went there because Brandon Staley was there. They're very close. But I'm not exactly hyped to go up against Leonard Floyd. I'm not. I think he's underrated, and I think he can't be the number 1 guy. But when he's playing off of Bosa, he's playing off of Von Miller, he's playing off AD in the middle. I've seen it. He can really pop off. He can have games that he just explodes. He had like a 3-sack game for the Rams. I think one of his first games of his, Rams career. So
here's the thing though. The Rams know him as well as anyone.
That's true.
And with the Rams, he played 3-4 outside linebacker. Whoa. On the Niners, he's a 4-3 defensive end. And at least against the Vikings, like the Vikings ran at him easily with their backup running back, Ty Chandler. So if he's on the field, I think, again, to me, the only chance the Rams have to win this game is if they rush for 150 yards and Blake Corum's really good and Kyron Williams is really good. And the Niners run defense is just as vulnerable as the Rams run defense from what I've seen. Maybe not just as vulnerable, but it's vulnerable, and it's been vulnerable going back to last year. They're giving up 5 yards a carry.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I like that.
Ty Chandler went off last week. Like, it was easy for that guy.
Yeah. Well, I think also that, I guess that kind of bodes well for the Rams, because you're not going to run sideline to sideline when you got Fred Warner flying all over the field, right? You're just not.
No.
But you run it up the gap, and especially like the Rams with more of this, inside running scheme, like their gap scheme, running duo. And now that they're, I don't want to say fully healthy, but they're as healthy as they can be right now. Maybe they go that route, because Kyron is really good at stopping, starting, great vision, can make plays in between the guards, in between the tackles. I mean, he's really he can work all over the place. They have not been able to get him going. Blake Corum finally got carries at the end in garbage time. So that's definitely interesting. Now,
it'll be interesting to see if they run at Leonard Floyd. They know him as well as anyone.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really cut out to play 4-3 D end all 3 downs. So
I like him more as a stand-up 3-4.
Yeah.
I also will point out with the Rams, he was one of the best run defenders at edge, period.
For sure. Okay.
So I don't know how that looks now being in a 4-3. Totally don't know how that looks, but definitely one of the X factors, I think, for the 49ers. And that's such an overused term. I mean, I'm looking at Hufanga, and I remember the last time, the last game in week 2, I think it was, Hufanga had a pick, I think it was. I think that's how the game ended.
Sure.
Maybe that was a different game. I don't know. I've lost count how many games the Rams have lost where they've been in it and then they've, shot out of it.